Welcome to Richmond BMX, the 2014 Clarence Earthquake McCray Benefit Race. Got Mr. Clarence, the Earthquake. So first things first, you got to tell us, where does the nickname Earthquake come from?
That came from Pep Freeman. One day we were at Nova, and he said, "You remind me of this racer back from the late 80s named Clarence Earthquake Perry." And from that point, it stuck. So I've been going by Earthquake for the last 2 years almost.
Nice, nice. So we checked with the USGA. They have warned the area of the probability of earthquake this afternoon.
10.0.
Everybody's well aware. So all right, now I've seen old pictures of you racing, or you at least riding your bike. So when did you first start riding BMX, and when did you start racing?
I first started in, I would say, 86 or 87. I was working for this lady who was doing babysitting, and her son was racing. And during the process of me babysitting for her, she said, "Well, I'll sell you a bike if you babysit for me, or help me babysit X amount of hours." So my first bike was a Red Line. I raced it in Lynchburg for 4 or 5 times or so, and fell in love. And then school and money became a little tight, so I had to stop. And then I picked it up again mid-90s, raced a few times. Picked it up again about 2000, raced a few more times, and then in late 2013, September actually, my wife, current wife now, said, "Well, why don't you try something different?" And I said, "Well, I want to go back to BMX racing," and I've been doing it steady ever since.
Nice. Now, so the reason why we're here today is we're doing a benefit race for you to help raise some money. And so explain to us the disease you have, what that impact is on your sight, and then the bioptic lenses, what that's going to help do for you.
All right. Well, in 1990, my mother said one morning that she was tired of me kissing the newspaper. And so she sent me to the doctor. And when I went to the doctor, he says, "Well, I got good news and bad news." He said, "The good news is you won't go completely blind, but the bad news is you have a disease called Stargardt's macular degeneration, which is a disease that robs me of my central vision. So my peripheral vision is 20/20 out to about here, but everything in the center is a little blurry sometimes. And if it's not blurry, I have black spots or floaters, just little odd end things that make it hard to do, daily things. And the bioptic lenses were told to me about Dr. Fisher in Philadelphia 2 months or so ago, that if I could improve my vision down 2 lines with the use of these glasses, that I could start driving again during the daytime. And I haven't driven since 2004.
So it doesn't correct the longer term challenges you've got, but getting those and learning, and I guess from what I've seen is it's not just getting the lenses, but learning how to use them and how to drive with them. That once you got that, then at least something that you haven't done in the past 10 years you can get back to, which is driving. And that's the reason why we're here today, is to help raise money for that. So to talk about, you come back, you've been on and off for a number of years, and obviously a good portion of those with some impaired vision while you race. Explain what that's like. You come to a different track and you're learning the track. I mean, how far out on the track do you see with any sort of decent vision, and how much of the rest is you have to kind of memorize the track pretty quickly?
Well, my typical thing is I come to a track, I ride it slow as many times as I can. That way I can see the depth of the jumps or how long they are and what I need to do to maneuver them. And then I ask questions from people who have ridden the track. Well, how do you handle such and such? And then I go for it. I can see about 20 feet maybe ahead of me. I know what's coming up by the number of pedals I have to do, and I just do it. I don't know how else to explain it. I think, God looks out for babies and fools, and I know He's looking out for me.
Well, it's definitely impressive. I know a lot of riders who we've told that we're having this benefit race, and they weren't really sure why we would be having the benefit race. When I explained to them that, that you have this impairment with your vision, and the first response is typically like a, "What? How does he what? Wait a minute, how does he do that?" So that, more than anything, is one of our reasons why we wanted to get together today, is because the fact that you go out there and you make that effort, you don't let something like that become an excuse to not try and not go, and not try to win races. All right? You're not going out here just kind of looping around, making a day of it. You just went to Louisville. What did you win at Louisville?
I won the Eastern Divisional Championship for my age group.
That's amazing. All right, so now, but you're really close though, right? Are you about ready to move up to intermediate? Or are you right there?
No, I'm 6 wins away.
6 wins away.
6 wins away, yeah.
All right.
But I'm in a 4-way tie for the DK Gold Cup for second place.
Right.
And I mean, second place, no, third place in the state right now. Top novice in the state.
Nice. So there's no reason to say, well, yeah, it's going to be a little bit too much for me. I'm just going to sit on the sideline.
No, there's too much life. I mean, it took me a little while to get my feet back under me after I went through some depression and other things like that. But the one thing that BMX has really taught me is loving life and living it to the point where you're just on the other side of control, but you're not too far overboard. And, you know, I just can't explain it. You know, when I'm on the track, I'm happy. When I think about racing, I'm happy. I just can't explain it.
It's an affliction that affects us all, that's for sure. Well, so all right, so tell me, did you have bikes as a kid?
Yes.
Were you like a lot of kids, if you weren't racing, but you were still riding your bikes, jumping your bikes?
Still riding. My mom could tell you the story about when I was maybe 13 or so. We lived in this apartment complex, and it had some timbers at the end of it, and we would stack up rocks at the end, and I would jump over 6 people. And from that point, I was a daredevil, man. I just been riding and.
Just tell them that they go to Richmond BMX, and we'll have a post-race summary with all the links on there. Because you sent me the links.
Mm-hmm. There's tons more, though. I mean, I could send you the Foundation Fighting Blindness, NRB.org. There's a ton of places and information out there about this disease, and that's the thing about Stargardt, it's not heard of. You know, nobody knows what it is.
Right, I hadn't heard of it until talking to you.
Yeah, and it affects children normally around 17 up until 50 years old you can develop this disease. And, you know, it's 1 in 10,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so there's no warning or anything like that? It's just it develops?
It just develops, and it's a genetic thing. And, you know, we're working on a cure. One of the other things that I'm doing is in Philadelphia, Will's Eye Institute, I'm going to be a part of a research study for stem cells. And hopefully with the stem cell research, I can regain some of my vision. But, you know, it's not a given. And the important thing about that is if it doesn't help me, hopefully another child, somebody else coming along, that they can learn from what they didn't do right in me or it didn't take in me or whatever, that they can improve and help them. So
right.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming, Clarence. And, you know, this is the kind of stuff that makes BMX really cool. This is part of the reason why I get so crazy about it. I think we all fight the struggle of balance in our life. And, you know, sometimes we get out of balance. We do a little bit too much work. We do a little bit too much in one space or another. I obsess about BMX from time to time, but this is the reason why, because it's full of awesome people, and we get the chance to really do really cool stuff.
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
While we have a great time doing it. So thanks for coming out, Clarence. We're going to have a great time today. Thanks to everybody who's come in today. All of the links for more information and additional donations that you want to make will be available on Richmond BMX after the race this afternoon. Thanks for coming.